Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome everyone to our first Ramadan program. Official Ramadan, holy month of Ramadan will start inshallah from tomorrow. But the programs, the online programs at MOMIN will start from today. And we will start the tonight's program with the recitation of Holy Quran. By Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الحمد لله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب عليم بما كانوا يكذبون وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما آمن الناس قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء ألا إنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا إلى شياطينهم قالوا إن معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدوهم في طغيانهم يعمهون أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون. صم بكم عمي فهم لا يرجعون أو كسيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. يكاد البرق يخطف أبصارهم كلما أضاء لهم مشوا فيه وإذا أظلم عليهم قاموا ولو شاء الله لذهب بسمعهم ولو شاء الله لذهب بسمعهم وأبصارهم إن الله على كل شيء قدير. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. وإن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا فأتوا بسورة من مثله وادعوا شهداءكم من دون الله إن كنتم صادقين. فإن لم تفعلوا ولن تفعلوا فاتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة أعدت للكافرين. وبشر الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أن لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة رزقا قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل وأوتوا به متشابها ولهم فيها أزواج مطهرة وهم فيها خالدون. إن الله لا يستحيي أن يضرب مثلا ما بعوضة فما فوقها فأما الذين آمنوا فيعلمون أنه الحق من ربهم وأما الذين كفروا فيقولون ماذا أراد الله بهذا مثلا يضل به كثيرا ويهدي به كثيرا وما يذل به إلا الفاسقين الذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يرسلوا ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك هم الخاسرون. كيف تكفرون بالله وكنتم أمواتا فأحياكم ثم يميتكم ثم يحييكم ثم إليه ترجعون. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى إلى السماء فسواهن 7 سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم. وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون. وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. قال يا آدم أنبئهم بأسمائهم فلما أنبأهم بأسمائهم قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم غيب السماوات والأرض وأعلم ما تبدون وما كنتم تكتمون. وإذ قلنا للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم فسجدوا إلا إبليس أبى واستكبر وكان من الكافرين. وقلنا يا آدم اسكن أنت وزوجك الجنة وكلا منها رغدا حيث شئتما ولا تقربا هذه الشجرة فتكونا من الظالمين. فأزلهما الشيطان عنها وأخرجهما مما كان فيه وقلنا اهبطوا بعضكم لبعض عدو ولكم في الأرض مستقر ومتاع إلى حين. فتلقى آدم من ربه كلمات فتاب عليه إنه هو التواب الرحيم. قلنا اهبطوا منها جميعا فإما يأتينكم مني هدى فمن تبع هداي فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون. وآمنوا بما أنزلت مصدقا لما معكم ولا تكونوا أول كافر به ولا تشتروا بآياتي ثمنا قليلا وإياي فاتقون. ولا تلبسوا الحق بالباطل وتكتموا الحق وأنتم تعلمون. وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة واركعوا مع الراكعين. أتعمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب أفلا تعقلون وأستعين بالصبر والصلاة إنها لكبيرة إلا على الخاشعين الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو ربهم وأنهم إليه راجعون.
صدق الله العلي العظيم.
محمد وعلى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا بني إسرائيل اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم وأني فضلتكم على العالمين واتقوا يوما لا تجزي نفس عن نفس شيئا ولا يقبل منها شفاعة ولا يؤخذ منها عدل ولا هم ينصرون. وإذ نجيناكم من آل فرعون يسومونكم سوء العذاب يذبحون أبناءكم ويستحيون نساءكم وفي ذلكم بلاء من ربكم عظيم. وإذ فرغنا بكم البحر فأنجيناكم وأغرقنا آل فرعون وأنتم تنظرون. وإذ وعدنا موسى 40 ليلة ثم اتخذتم العجل من بعده وأنتم ظالمون ثم عفونا عنكم من بعد ذلك لعلكم تشكرون. وإذ آتينا موسى الكتاب وفرقان لعلكم تهتدون. وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم إنكم ظلمتم أنفسكم باتخاذكم العجل فتوبوا إلى بارئكم فاقتلوا أنفسكم ذلكم خير لكم عند بارئكم فتاب عليكم إنه هو التواب الرحيم. وإذ قلتم يا موسى لن نؤمن لك حتى نرى الله جهرة فأخذتكم الصاعقة وأنتم تنظرون ثم بعثكم من بعد موتكم لعلكم تشكرون. وذللنا عليكم الغمام وأنزلنا عليكم المن والسلوى كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم وما ظلمونا ولكن كانوا أنفسهم يظلمون. وإذ قلنا ادخلوا هذه القرية فكلوا منها حيث شئتم رغدا وادخلوا الباب سجدا وقولوا حتة نغفر لكم خطاياكم وسنزيد المحسنين. فبدل الذين ظلموا قولا غير الذي قيل لهم فأنزلنا على الذين ظلموا رجزا من السماء بما كانوا يفسقون. وإذ استسقى موسى لقومه فقلنا اضرب بعصاك الحجر فانفجرت منه 12 عينا قد علم كل أناس مشربهم كلوا واشربوا من رزق الله ولا تعثوا في الأرض مفسدين. وإذ قلتم يا موسى لن نصبر على طعام واحد فادع لنا ربك لنا مما تنبت الأرض من بغلها وقثائها وفومها وعدسها وبصلها قال أتستبدلون الذي هو أدنى بالذي هو خير اهبطوا مصرا فإن لكم ما سألتم وضربت عليهم الذلة والمسكنة وباءوا بغضب من الله ذلكم بأنهم كانوا يكفرون بآيات الله ويقتلون النبيين بغير الحق ذلك بما عصوا وكانوا يعتدون إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والنصارى والصابعين من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون وإذ أخذنا ميثاقكم ورفعنا فوقكم الطور خذوا ما آتاكم بقوة واذكروا ما فيه لعلكم تتقون ثم توليتم من بعد ذلك فلولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمة لكنتم من الخاسرين ولقد علمتم الذين اعتدوا منكم في السبت فقلنا لهم كونوا قردة خاسئين فجعلناها نكالا لما بين يديها وما خلفها وموعظة للمتقين وإذ قال موسى لقومه إن الله يأمركم أن تذبحوا بقرة قالوا أتتخذنا هزوا قال أعوذ بالله أن أكون من الجاهلين قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة لا فارض ولا بكر عوان بين ذلك ففعلوا ما تؤمرون قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما لونها قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة صفراء فاقع لونها تسر الناظرين قالوا ادع لنا ربك يبين لنا ما هي إن البقرة تشابه علينا وإنا إن شاء الله لمهتدون قال إنه يقول إنها بقرة لا ذلول تثير الأرض ولا تسقي الحرث مسلمة لا شبيهة فيها قالوا الآن جئت بالحق فذبحوها وما كادوا يفعلون وإذ قتلتم نفسا فادرأتم فيها والله مخرج ما كنتم تكتمون فقلنا اضربوها ببعضها كذلك يحيي الله الموتى ويريكم آياته لعلكم تعقلون ثم قست قلوبكم من بعد ذلك فهي كالحجارة أو أشد قسوة وإن من الحجارة لما يتفجر منه الأنهار وإن منها لما يشقق فيخرج منه الماء وإن منها لما يهبط من خشية الله وما الله بغافل عما تعملون أفتطمعن أن يؤمنوا لكم وقد كان فريق منهم يسمعون كلام الله ثم يحرفونه من بعد ما أغلوه وهم يعلمون وإذ لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا بعضهم إلى بعض قالوا أتحدثونهم بما فتح الله عليكم ليحاجوكم به عند ربكم أفلا تعقلون أولا يعلمون أن الله يعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون ومنهم أميون لا يعلمون الكتاب إلا أماني وإن هم إلا يظنون فويل للذين يكتبون الكتاب بأيديهم ثم يقولون هذا من عند الله ليشتروا به ثمنا قليلا فويل لهم مما كتبت أيديهم وويل لهم مما يكسبون وقالوا لن تمسنا النار إلا أياما معدودة قل اتخذتم عند الله عهدا فلن يخلف الله عهده أم تقولون على الله ما لا تعلمون بلى من كسب سيئة وأحاطت به خطيئته فأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك أصحاب الجنة هم فيها خالدون وإذا أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وقولوا للناس حسنا وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة ثم توليتم إلا قليلا منكم وأنتم معرضون وإذ أخذنا ميثاقكم لا تسفكون دماءكم ولا تخرجون أنفسكم من دياركم ثم أقررتم وأنتم تشهدون ثم أنتم هؤلاء تقتلون أنفسكم وتخرجون فريقا منكم من ديارهم تظاهرون عليهم بالإثم والعدوان وإن يأتوكم أسارى تفادوهم وهو محرم عليكم إخراجهم أفتؤمنون ببعض الكتاب وتكفرون ببعض فما جزاء من يفعل ذلك منكم إلا خزي في الحياة الدنيا ويوم القيامة يرون إلى أشد العذاب وما الله بغافل عما تعملون صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات
Brother Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Ahsan, Brother Ibrahim. Just a reminder for the viewers, we were just tuned in. The MOMIN Ramadan transmission has started. with programs from today. Inshallah, soon Sheikh Amin will be joining us, and he will be addressing the Mu'mineen on the topic that he has chosen, would be the Nahjul Balagha, one of the sermons from the Nahjul Balagha, and Sheikh Amin will explain that in a bit. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
السلام عليكم ورحمة
Assalamu
الله.
alaikum, Sheikh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I would like to first of all congratulate everyone on the arrival of this holy month. Tonight will be the first of the month of Ramadan. For the majority of the brothers and sisters, I will, inshallah, explain certain rules and rulings regarding the first night, or excuse me, regarding the moon and the moon sighting that we had the discussion of last night. Just to explain a little bit more what happened. But nonetheless, for the majority, if not everyone, tonight will be the first of the month of Ramadan. And I would like to congratulate everyone on that. Ayyaman ma'dudat, the Quran says, listen, this fast that you have to do, it's a number of days. In other words, it's numbered. And so don't think that it's something that is too much for you. Inshallah, Allah gives us the power, the strength, the tawfiq to make it through this month, make the most of this month. And in these times that we're in right now, which are, for some, are very difficult to navigate through, for us, it's an opportunity, these times of quarantine. At least for us, we turn it into an opportunity where we use this isolation to have more of a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we're able to get together in the masjid, then all the better. If not, Allah is there anyway, at home as well. The Quran says, فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Wherever you turn, Allah is there. In other words, yes, if you can be in certain places, then be. But don't worry, if you can't do things the way you always do it, then yes, Allah is there, and that's what matters. There are 2 or 3 things I want to speak about tonight or today in the time that I have. Number 1 is about an update on the moon sighting, although today has passed, or last night passed already. But I need to explain a few things to the brothers and sisters who are watching, who probably had tuned in last night as well. Now, we might not get the same number of people who will tune in tonight. But yes, what is important is that we discuss certain matters, as we always do when it comes to the moon sighting. Number 1. Number 2 is I want to, inshallah, speak to you about our topic and what we want to cover in the next few nights that I'll be speaking, and which is the famous sermon of Imam Ali in Nahjul Balagha about the muttaqeen, This sermon is referred to as Khutbatul Muttaqin or Khutbatul Hammam, it's called, named after that famous companion of Imam Ali alayhi salam, Hammam, famous because of his mention in Nahjul Balagha for this sermon. And then finally, after that, I just want to explain the format that we're going to have for the programs in Ramadan this year as well. Just explain what's going on, because some people were asking about that as well. So let's get started. Number one, when this might take some time, we need to talk about a little bit more about the moon sighting. I decided to talk about this more because I felt that there's still confusion amongst the brothers and sisters. Although it is a technical matter, and might be even better to just not speak about it at all. But the thing is that there's so much going on in the world and in America and our respective cities and states that we're in, that you can't just tell people, oh, this is a technical matter, don't worry about it, just listen to what I have to say. Tomorrow is or is not Eid, finished. People ask questions, and so these things have to be addressed, although it'll be hard for some to understand, but a lot of people do appreciate the fact that these matters are discussed. And so for that, and by the way, once again, anyone who has questions, please just put your questions in this comment section of the YouTube channel, and we'll take those questions. But brothers and sisters, last night was one of those nights again that was hard. We had difficulty trying to figure out the duty of the mu'mineen in this part of America in regards to the first day of Ramadan. We've had similar situations in the past. The last one being, I would say the hardest one was in 2017 for Eid. Now, first and foremost, we need to point out that when it comes to Eid, it gets even harder, because Eid is a day that we all know you can't fast. And so people want to know, are they supposed to fast? Are they not supposed to fast? First of all. Second of all, they want to take off from work. They want to come for the Eid salat and other things, and just the socialization and all of that happens on Eid day. They want to make sure that they do their salat al-Eid on the right day. They want to make sure that they take out their zakat al-fitra on the right day, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of rulings that come and pertain to the end of Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr. Yes, and this is something that everyone is already familiar with and knows about. But the beginning of Ramadan sometimes can have issues as well. But it's not as big a deal. Why? Because in the end, if a person is not sure what to do, that day, that following day is going to be Yawm al-Shak for them. And so they can fast if they would like. And maybe it's even better if they do, so that later on, if it becomes apparent that it was Ramadan, they don't have to make that day up later throughout the year. And they have also benefited from the specific rewards of the first day of Ramadan. So that's number one. Eid versus first day of Ramadan there's a big difference between the two. You don't have to pay zakat al-fitra. You don't have to do many things. Yeah. So practically, it might not make a difference with a person who will take that next day as the first day of Ramadan, actually, because it's Yawm al-Shak and lots of people are fasting on that day anyway. At the same time, though, brothers and sisters, we are living in a time of ghaibah. And if we're living in a time of ghaibah, that means we don't have access to our imam. That means that we have no choice but to follow the maraja of taqleed. And so when we follow the maraja of taqleed, they will have different opinions regarding different masail and issues. And so as a result, sometimes, because none of us are infallible, sometimes the fatwas, the verdicts will go head to head with each other, will contradict each other, will be such that both can't be correct. Yes? This is a matter that we have today, and we have to deal with as a Muslim ummah, and have to come to terms with as a Shia nation, that yes, our maraja sometimes will have different opinions on one matter. It's perfectly fine, just like any field of expertise. Just the other day I was watching a video about Ayatollah Udma As-Sayyid Mahmoud Ash-Shahrudi, one of my teachers back in Qom, one of the great mujtahideen of this day and age. I was watching, and who passed away last year. And so I was watching his son. They had an interview with his son, his oldest son, and he's talking about how, what happened that his father passed away. His father passed away because of certain negligence by certain people. But at the end of the day, it was a matter of difference of opinion regarding his health and what is to be done and what surgical procedures he needs to go through, or if he should or should not go through at all. And so there was a difference of opinion in regards to him. Some people who are adherents of traditional medicine, or some people like to call it Islamic medicine, which this is something that other maraja have questioned. But anyway, differences of opinion amongst them. And so apparently what led to his death was the wrong diagnosis or the wrong prescription of what to do. When it comes to expertise, there's differences of opinion in as the harder the expertise gets, and that area of expertise gets, the more differences of opinion might pop up. Now, ijtihad and taqleed is a tough one, brothers and sisters. It is very tough. People don't understand how tough it is. And even maybe tougher than that sometimes is trying to figure out what the maraji are saying in regards to an issue. Right? I want us to understand this. So for a person who is leading a community, to try to be in contact with the office of that marja, to get their opinion on things, to run things by them, is almost close to impossible sometimes. And this is something to keep in mind as well. All right, so on one hand, you have the differences of opinion. On the other hand, what you have is trying to get in touch at least to clarify certain things, but not being able to. Okay. Having said all of that, let's talk about last night's moon sighting story that we had. What happens is, brothers and sisters, it's not black and white. The messages that you start getting from people is you get the feeling that they expect things to be black and white. People are saying, give it to me in a silver platter. Give it to me, very clean cut and clear cut. Well, brothers and sisters, sometimes it's just not the case. You just can't do that. And a person who leads a community will not be willing to say something to make people happy, but at the same time, he will have to answer Allah on the Day of Judgment. Yeah. And so the messages that start coming in, you feel like, okay, these people don't see it the way they're supposed to be seeing it, or they misunderstood certain things that were said, and certain things that have been said that you said, I don't want you to understand it like this, they still understand it like that. So having said all of that, we want to talk about last night a little bit, and I want to share some updates with the brothers and sisters, because since last night, after our program that we had last night, where we had a lot of people who had tuned in, and a lot of people were asking their questions as well, I was up till 7 a.m. On the phone with a lot of different people. And even after that, when I woke up again in the day, again, till almost now, I was on the phone with different people. 30 minutes here, 25 minutes there, with as many scholars as I could be, with as many community leaders that I could be in touch with people in Qom who have direct contact with the office of Maraji, and so on. And so I want to just share some of that with you, of what's going on now. First and foremost, I have to say this, that yes, we do have a Ru'yat al-Hilal committee that was here before I even moved to Dallas. And so that's made up of a few brothers who have taken it upon themselves to keep the community updated and be in touch with different communities and centers and ulama across America. Every month they will be contacting each other and trying to figure out when the moon is sighted, whether it's not sighted. This is something that they're doing, that they have burdened themselves with. So brothers and sisters who might be critical sometimes and a little frustrated that, oh, why aren't things clear? I want us to understand. I'm saying this because these are messages that are being received, of course. You have to understand that these are these are brothers who have taken it upon themselves and are trying their best to serve the community. And we have to be grateful for that. Now, after I moved, I became part of that as well. But yes, sometimes there will be some miscommunications. Like last night, as I was teaching last night, and we were taking your questions in the program that we had, if those of you who were online when I was teaching, you noticed I had to answer the phone in the middle. Yeah, because it was the Royat Hilal committee. One of the brothers was contacting us or contacting me to speak about, what we're going to do regarding the first of Ramadan, especially because they want to put it online, they want to put it on the website and so on. And so I wasn't able to answer because, of course, I was teaching. And if those of you who were online, I took the call live while I was teaching, and I told the brother, I'll call you later. Now, we had made it clear that according to Ayatollah Sistani, tomorrow, meaning today, now Friday, is not going to be the first of Ramadan. And so they had understood that from what I was talking about, and they had posted that. But the thing is, after my program was done, I started getting messages and calls from people that, look, the message that has been put implies that according to Agha Khamenei, also tomorrow is the 30th, Friday is the 30th of Sha'ban. Can you please clarify more? So what had happened was the message had gone up. I was not informed of that. And so that's why a follow-up update was put online. Although the message that was put up initially, it wasn't wrong. It just had to do with Ayatollah Sistani. So more clarification was put out there. And so I want to explain now the statement that was put out, every part of it. Because yes, once again, messages were received from people and they were a bit confused. And yes, it is okay to be confused sometimes because it is a technical matter. And if the language that was used is technical, there's no other choice. And I'll explain why that is, inshallah, in a little bit. Let me first read off of the statement and explain everything. I want my brothers and sisters in this community to understand. We don't just bring stuff out of thin air and just say it, and we don't know, like what we talk about sometimes is something that we don't know where we got it from. No. There's a reason for everything that's said. If someone doesn't understand, they need to contact us. Not that messages will be sent around now, yes, that will not be the best messages sometimes. So I want to explain that. Now, when I say this is, I'm sure, the majority of the community, because we got a lot of good feedback as well from a lot of people, that, it was very informative, yesterday's session. But yeah, this is a moon sighting matter, and we will always have confusion when the situation is such, like last night, right? This is, it's been 3 years now that I've been in this community. And so those few brothers and sisters out there who might be a little frustrated or upset, they have to understand that after 3 years, it should have been understood that, yeah, sometimes this is going to happen. When one marja has a fatwa that speaks about optical aid sufficing, and another marja has a fatwa that says it doesn't suffice, there might be some cases where we will have issues like last night. Although I will read from the message now in the statement, and you'll see that practically for maybe 98% of the people, today was the first, even followers of Ayatollah Khamenei. Today was the 30th of Sha'ban, Today was the 30th of Sha'ban for the majority. But let me read this now and explain it. It says the DFW Ru'yat Hilal Committee did not receive any report of sighting of the new moon with the naked eye. This is something all of America is agreeing on. No one saw it with the naked eye on Thursday. Therefore, Friday, April 24th shall be the 30th of Sha'ban for the followers of Ayatollah Sistani. As for followers of Ayatollah Khamenei, our suggestion is, okay, why is it our suggestion? Let me read the suggestion first and I'll say why the suggestion was made. Our suggestion is to fast Friday with the intention of the 30th of Sha'ban. Why? Because according to the diagrams and the calculations, brothers and sisters, there was a reasonable chance that the moon is visible with optical aid in Dallas. Okay? But has someone actually done that? No, no one actually got a telescope. One person was saying, "Oh, why don't they go and do, moon sighting with telescopes in Dallas?" Well, brothers and sisters, we don't have that equipment. If someone wants to provide it, Bismillah. Yeah. Or why wasn't Shaykh doing that? Well, Shaykh was lecturing for MOMIN, yeah, or had a lecture right after namaz for MOMIN. And so I don't have that opportunity sometimes. Sometimes I want to go, especially for Eid. I want to go out somewhere to the mountains and try to like do istihlal. But the thing is that we have programs, and so I can't do that. Anyway, as for followers, this is the suggestion. Friday, fasted with the intention of the 30th of Sha'ban. Why? Because on one hand, there is a possibility, but on the other hand, that possibility has to be actualized. Has anyone actualized that? No, no one has actualized that. So it remains a possibility. In the end, if I asked you this question, are you sure it's Ramadan tomorrow? As a follower of Ayatollah Khamenei, what will your answer be? If your answer is, yes, I'm 100% sure, okay, then you have to fast that day, okay, as the first of Ramadan. But if for whatever reason, there's a possibility it wasn't actualized, we don't know the ruling properly, someone said this thing, another person said that thing, in that case, in the end, you still have doubt, right? You have shak still, right? Yes, I do. If you have shak, then you go and see what the ruling on Yawm al-Shak is. What is the ruling on Yawm al-Shak? You take it as the 30th of Sha'ban. You either fast a mustahab fast for those who don't have wajib qada fast, or you fast a wajib qada fast if you have it. This is why the suggestion was made. This is the topic sentence of this paragraph, brothers and sisters. Our suggestion is to fast Friday with the intention of 30th of Sha'ban also. Just like the followers of Ayatollah Sistani who take today, Friday, as the 30th, these people, if they want, they can fast it. Not now, my suggestion was no, fast it for sure, because later on, other reports might come that will make it the first of Ramadan. And you don't want to have missed out on that day because you were a follower of Ayatollah Khamenei who believes in optical aid. Okay? So the suggestion was fast, but with this intention, until more clarification comes. Because as I said, it was a little vague still. Yes, and you can see today, you can tell, organizations last night who made announcements changed their announcements because of clarification, because of other reports of optical aid sightings that were confirmed. They changed their view and their announcement. And even till today, yes, for certain areas right now, brothers and sisters, there are two views. One organization is saying, for this particular place, it is the first, according to the Ayatollah Khamenei. Another organization or center is saying, no, it's the 30th of Sha'ban. Right now, we have this problem in some cities out there, in some states. Okay, so I want to show, I'm trying to illustrate to those who might be critical and have a question in their minds. Why is this the case? Till now, still we have this problem. We're having this problem. Okay, so fasted as the 30th of Sha'ban until more clarification or reports of optical aided sightings are received, so that then we can make a decision maybe if it is the first of Ramadan or not, according to Ayatollah Khamenei. Then we opened up a parenthesis here. He said, so far, there are confirmed optical aid sightings in Anaheim, California. Some people took this to mean that we are basing our judgment on the sightings there. No, that wasn't the case. Because if we were basing our judgment on that, we would have said people fast tomorrow as the first day of Ramadan. Followers of Ayatollah Khamenei fast tomorrow with the intention of the first of Ramadan. But what did this paragraph start with? This paragraph started with, no, fast tomorrow as the 30th of Sha'ban. That means the sightings in California, in Southern California, if they were mentioned here, they were only mentioned to say, this is what we have so far. Is that enough for us to make a judgment though? No, we're not gonna make a judgment just based on that, right? Nonetheless, if one becomes certain the moon was visible via optical aid on Thursday, for example, through astronomical calculations in Dallas, then they must fast Friday with the intention of the first of Ramadan. Why was this part added? Because there are some out there, as I said last night again and again, some scholars out there who say from Qom, from as representatives of Al-Khamenei, they feel that they're convinced based on the calculations, based on the diagrams. They are convinced that today is the first. Okay. And I said this last night again and again. I said, people, if someone wants to take their word and they become certain through their certainty, okay, they can fast tomorrow. But if you don't become certain through that, then what you do is you fast today. If you want to fast today, you fast it as the 30th of Sha'ban. Yeah. So this is also another one. This is why this part comes in. And that's what I was talking about last night when I said there are some scholars. Now, what do I personally feel? What I personally felt, I shared last night. I'm not going to go over it again because that's my personal understanding from calculations. But for a community, my personal conviction or lack thereof is not binding on the community. It's wrong for me to say it, share my discretion necessarily when it comes to calculations, right? Here, it all depends on people's certainty. If I say it, so-and-so alim says it, so-and-so says it, and you become, based on calculations, and you become 100% sure, okay, you can follow your certainty. Other than that, 30th of Sha'ban, you go with 30th of Sha'ban. End of story. That's why we continue. They say, until this certainty is attained, one must assume it is the 30th of Sha'ban. I repeated this again, so people aren't confused. So, in the beginning I said, suggestion is take it as the 30th, unless you become 100% sure with calculations. If not, stick to 30th of Sha'ban. And that's my expectation, probably with the majority of the followers of Ayatollah Khamenei today. That today, if they fasted with the intention of 30th of Sha'ban because they're not aware of the calculations or how these diagrams work. And if I mentioned something last night, that's something subjective. Okay? Subjective to each individual. If someone has a yaqeen, then so be it. But usually people will not have that yaqeen. And I said this last night as well. I said, people, this is not an announcement by me to say that tomorrow is the first according to the Rahbar now. Yeah? But right when I got off of the phone or off of online, I started getting messages from Toronto. Mulana says to me, I've heard from New Jersey that you have announced all of America is the first for followers of Al-Khamenei. No, I said it explicitly. I said, I don't want anyone to think this is what's being said. So now you're getting an understanding why I wanted to go over some more of this moon sighting. Yes, each Ramadan that comes and goes, brothers and sisters, our community gets more and more mature and can weather this storm and these moon sighting storms better next time. I'm telling you right now, next year, if you look at the diagrams and charts right now, next year is going to be very, very similar to this year, the first of Ramadan, again for us in Dallas and for all of the US. So we have to have figured this out. So next year, yes, people don't, get very confused and God forbid even speak bad behind each other's backs. Oh, this guy is in this committee, that guy is in that committee. They don't know what they're doing. And God forbid on the first day of Ramadan, we have these sins on our backs. We don't want that either, inshallah. Okay. As for followers of Ayatollah Khou'i, the statement says, since there are no confirmed reports of naked eye sighting anywhere in North or South America or other places that share at least a part of their night with Dallas, his followers also must have the intention of 30th of Sha'ban. Yes, Ayatollah Khou'i is very flexible when it comes to the horizons. And he says, if you see the moon in one place, it will count for any other place that shares at least a portion of the night with where the moon was sighted in. So for example, we share some night with South America for sure. So if someone sees it in Brazil, it'll count for the people in Dallas for sure. It'll count for all of America. Even parts of Africa might overlap in their nighttime with America. I don't know, I'm just saying maybe. Or parts of Europe, I don't know, maybe. So if it's seen there also, it'll count. The thing is, brothers and sisters, Ayatollah Khou'i says this, but he doesn't believe in optical aid, right? So he says if you see it with the naked eye anywhere, it'll count for anywhere else that overlaps in their nighttime, at least partially, right? So there were no confirmed reports of naked eye sighting anywhere. And so therefore, Ayatollah Khoui's followers can't either Someone might say, but it was seen optically with optical aid in Southern California. Yes, if that was a naked eye sighting, we would be good. Ayatollah Khoui's followers would take today as the first. But since that was not naked eye sighting and it was optical aided, then no, it's the 30th of Sha'ban today. That does not help with Ayatollah Khoui's followers. So it says in North or South America or other places that share at least part of their night with Dallas, his followers also must have the intention of 30th of Sha'ban, unless established reports of naked eye sightings of the moon come in, which they didn't come in, brothers and sisters. So that is the official statement of MOMIN Center that we put up. Each and every part and piece of it, each and every clause, there's a reason for it, brothers and sisters. I want our brothers and sisters to, inshallah, every year when we go through things like this, to mature more and be more and more educated. And if others have questions, they educate them too. We want this network to be in place, so we don't get all worried and stuff when these things happen. No, we're like, okay, we've been through this before. We know all the general guidelines. Let's get to work and let's establish. Let's apply those general guidelines to our situation now, right? So this is all. Lots of times it's going to be a developing story. It's going to be something that might be mentioned, but then 3 hours later it'll change. We have to understand that's how it is. Sorry, that is how it is. The more data that comes in, the more changes we'll have. In the beginning of the pandemic, when quarantine was just beginning in America, when these doctors were speaking, the likes of Fauci and Birx, what were they saying? They were saying the least amount of deaths we're going to have is how many? 100 to 200,000, something like that. What is the max number? 1 to 2 million, 2.2 million deaths. Why? Because they have a model, they feed their data to the model, and that is what is yielded as a result. But as time passed, new data was inserted into the same model, and before you know it, the numbers are dropping more and more, right? And so the model will yield other numbers for fatalities from the virus. This is just how it works, brothers and sisters. This is how empirical data works when you plug it into models. Same thing with us. When we have no moon sightings to base a judgment on, you will pass a certain thing, because mashallah, our brothers and sisters across America, they are lots of times in a rush. Well, tell us, is tomorrow the first? Is tomorrow the first? Sometimes we'll say for now, no, it's not the first, but that might change later. If you remember in 2017, it changed in the last minute. It was Sahri time for the followers of Sistani. It became apparent that yes, tomorrow is Eid. That day is Eid, right? It was hard and it was hanging by a thread. That's just how it is, brothers and sisters. We have to understand that. Now, some people will say, "Oh, but that hurts our unity and so on." Well, maybe we need to redefine unity. Maybe we need to revisit this understanding, this black and white understanding of things. That everything has to be black and white. No, it doesn't. It's not possible in this day and age, in the time of ghaiba especially. Even in the time of hudur of the imams, it wasn't as black and white as people think it might have been, let alone now, 1200 years later after the imams. Okay, so that's the first part of our discussion. Moving on to the second part. We have about 15 minutes till namaz. I want to talk about what we will be covering, inshallah, the next 5 nights. Tonight was not officially our first Ramadan night. And so that's why I thought I would discuss the moon sighting a little bit more and also introduce the topic. And then after that, I will have 5 nights with the brothers and sisters. Our topic is going to be, as I said, khutbatul muttaqeen. The Quran says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Allah wants taqwa to come out of this fast that we have. And so as a result, I thought it was nice to connect this to khutbatul muttaqeen. That if we are going through the month of Ramadan, especially this Ramadan, which is special because of the isolation and quarantine that we're in, let's get a little lofty here. Let's open up our wings a little bit more and try to fly a little bit more. Let's shoot for the stars. And khutbatul muttaqeen is one of those khutbahs where the imam is approached by one of his companions, as you all have heard, And his companion tells him, can you please speak about the muttaqeen, the righteous, pious ones, the God-fearing ones? I want you to describe them for me in a way that is as if I'm looking at them when you're describing them to me. That's a big deal. And Imam Ali in the beginning, he says no, and he doesn't want to because there's a reason for that he doesn't want to. But this companion of the Imam insists, and the Imam begins, and he starts explaining what the muttaqeen look like. Now, let's define taqwa first, real quick. Taqwa comes from wiqaya. Wiqaya means to protect something from something else. Taqwa means that you protect yourself from the disobedience of God, from the wrath of God and punishment of God. Okay? How is that accomplished? Well, when you look in these books of the ulama, they will explain taqwa, adala, these types of concepts. They have to do with a disposition one has within them. They have this. They're in this state. They're in a state of mind in which they don't sin anymore. Right? They have developed taqwa, means they have reached the point where they don't sin. Now, does that mean they're ma'soom? No. But they will sometimes make even mistakes. But part of taqwa is to do tawbah. Right? It is wajib. When you commit a haram act, it's wajib on you to do tawbah and try to get back up on your feet again. And so these people, they are usually in the obedience of God, and they're obeying God, and if they mess up, they do tawbah. That is taqwa, the wajib and haram of Allah being observed. But as you shall see when we go into this khutbah, there's a lot more than wajib and haram, which show, but yet it's called the Imam is referring to them as the muttaqeen. So it shows that there are grades of taqwa out there. Yes, the most important and the core, the solid core of taqwa is that a person reaches that point where they don't disobey God anymore. But these people who reach this point of not disobeying God anymore, yes, they, as a result of that disposition that they have developed, they want more now. God, brothers and sisters, God is not going to leave us alone and say, okay, this person has worked hard for maybe 10 years now and has reached the point where they don't sin anymore, they don't disobey me, so let me just let him or her be. No, Allah will give more to this individual, will give more tawfiq to them. They will be more and more thirsty and long for more than just the wajib and haram. We have to, of course, be careful. Some people, they have not secured this core of taqwa. Now they're after more. That more is not going to work. It's not going to get you anywhere. You have to first solidify the taqwa, meaning the wajib and haram, then other levels of taqwa will come. That you might fear Allah so much that you can't just pray. You will pay attention in your prayer. Yes, it's interesting. Some of these scholars, when you read about them, they would do istighfar after their salat. Why? Because they sometimes might have not paid 100% attention in their salat. He's doing istighfar from his salat. This is extra taqwa. Well, this person's cognition of Allah has grown so much that they really, it's no formality. They really feel like they are indebted to Allah, to the point that if they're not paying attention in their salat for a fraction of their salat, they are upset about it. And they will do istighfar because they feel like they have violated the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sanctity of Allah. How dare I enter salat and that intimate conversation with Allah, but a part of my salat I wasn't paying attention. They do istighfar for that. That's for them though. For me, it's let me try not to listen to that haram music. For me, it's let me try not to look at this haram thing or say that haram thing. Yes? But what I'm trying to say now, brothers and sisters, is that there are different grades of taqwa and degrees of taqwa that will push you to the point that you will fall, inshallah, we all are such. We fall under the category of these muttaqeen that Imam Ali describes in this khutbah. Right? And he goes way beyond the core. of wajib and haram. In other khutbahs and other sayings in Nahj al-Balagha, Imam Ali is speaking about, yes, the wajib and haram a lot of times. But that doesn't mean sometimes he won't speak a little bit more about it. This is one of those cases. What are those things that he'll talk about? For example, in this khutbah, we have what I have here is maybe we can categorize the different characteristics of the muttaqin into three. The social characteristics that they have, the individual characteristics, and their characteristics when it comes, and how they are when it comes to their relationship with the Creator. These are three, I would say, different categories of awsaf, of characteristics that Imam Ali speaks about in this khutbah. Okay, I want to give you a very brief, just briefly go over some of these, okay, before we actually get into the text in the coming days. And hopefully we can finish the whole khutbah. If we don't, then that's fine. We get as much as we can out of it. If we do finish it earlier, then we'll talk about other things as well. Let's see. I'll try to make it in such that we finish in the upcoming 5 nights or 5 days that we have programs in. He speaks about being moderate. He speaks about humility that these people have when it comes to their social characteristics, how they turn away from the harams, how they will listen to useful knowledge that is being disseminated, how they are obsessive when it comes to learning, yes, and gaining knowledge. I love it when I have some of our younger sisters and sometimes brothers who you can tell they're not letting you go. Can we have this class? Can we have this lecture? Can we have this program? Can you do this online? And of course the answer usually is, I'm sorry, we don't have enough time for that. But this is beautiful. And when they are that obsessive, they keep asking to the point that you eventually do something. Okay? This is wonderful. This is one of the khususiyat of the muttaqin, one of the characteristics of the muttaqin, that they are obsessive when it comes to gaining knowledge. Patience in hardship, forgiving those that have wronged them, refraining from ugly words and ugly speech, right? This is something that they have. That's something I might want to elaborate on later. Why is it that some of our guys, when you see them on social media, they're using foul language? You can say that sentence without foul language. Maybe we'll talk about that more maybe later. That which is entrusted to them, they don't ruin it. They don't mess it up. They take care of that which they're entrusted with. They bottle up their anger. People are safe from their vice, and how people have hope that they will get good from those people. Yeah, this is beautiful. Like it's as if you are describing an angel. This is what angels are like, brothers and sisters. It's beautiful. Individual traits that they have, and I like it. The social ones are pretty nice, but then as you go down this list, the individual traits are even nicer, and I would say the traits that they have when it comes to their relationship with the Lord is even the greatest. So for example, some of the individual traits that might be discussed in this khutbah is that they are cynical when it comes to themselves. They don't give themselves benefit of the doubt. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Because right now everyone's talking about, hey, be confident in yourself. And that is true. We'll talk about that now. How can we reconcile these? They have fear of being praised by others. SubhanAllah. How does that work in the social media age? You know what I'm saying? They have iman and faith in God, but with yaqeen. Because sometimes you believe in Allah, you believe in the imams because your parents said so. Sometimes you have iman because you gained iman and faith through yaqeen. Let's talk about that. Inshallah, we get to all of this. Their patience, and also how they have hope in the akhirah and not too much hope in dunya. They don't care too much about dunya, things like that. As for their relationship with the Creator, their prayers in the night, accompanied by recitation of Quran. How they seek a cure in the Quran. You see, Quran. How the Quran leaves an impression on their hearts, affects their souls. Khushu' in ibadah, their humility in worship. It's not just, let me get this worship done with so I don't go to hell. No, I'm going to do this worship because I have to do this worship. And I'm going to put my heart into it because of the belief that I have in God. And finally, how they have remembrance of Allah and how they are grateful to Allah throughout the day. These are some of the characteristics that have been mentioned in this khutbatul muttaqin. We have a question here. Why is it fear instead of love that can grow taqwa? Love, look, brothers and sisters, in the beginning, it starts with a little bit of fear. Usually, not always, but usually, people are too lazy to get up and do what Allah wants from them. And so they will have to be scared a little bit. Just like that father who promises their daughter or son that, look, if you get good grades, I'll give you whatever in the world you want. That kid is lazy though. They're just going to stick to their video games. So the father also places a punishment for them if they don't get good grades. Why? Is the father bad? No. The father cares so much that he wants to make sure they get good grades because it's for their own good. So sometimes Allah in the Quran will mention, yes, certain punishments. So people get off their backs. But that slowly will turn into love because people will notice that, oh, this is for myself. When I stay away from harams, it fixes my own life for me in this dunya. I see what happens to people who commit haram all the time. They want more and more, but I'm content with what I have. I'm good with my husband or wife and the kids that I have and the humble life that I have. But those who want more and more and more, they're never happy. And they run into problems. Thank you, O Allah, for this lifestyle that you've given me through Islam. And so slowly that turns into love. But that's something we can discuss more. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about before we end. Brothers and sisters, as you've probably seen the poster and flyer that's been sent out for MOMIN's programs, I want to explain that a little bit as well because there were some questions coming my way in that regard as well. This year we have this whole online setup for our programs and lectures, true? And so just like every year, I was ready to do the first 15 days for MOMIN Center, and Maulana Beg had been booked for the second 15. After COVID, once again, Maulana Beg was still available for his commitment, and I was ready to do it as well. But then I got a call from some of the other respected colleagues and sheikhs that I have, that you've seen some of them in the poster, that's not all of them. And they had a virtual meeting where they said, listen, we would like to, now that we're in this situation, we would like to have different faces, right, in these different centers and in their channels that they have. Would you be willing to also be one of those who rotates amongst the different centers, and we also do things in your center? I said, I don't have an issue with that. I had a different topic for these 15 nights that I wanted to do actually, and that was a commentary on one of the very beautiful du'as that we have for this month of Ramadan. That was what my topic was. But I said, okay, I will I'll ask our respected program committee and executive committee and see what they think. I spoke to our program director. He thought it was a wonderful idea as well. We ran it by the program committee. They also had no objection to that. And so I let them know that, okay, yeah, that we can, this is something that can happen. So that's how this whole idea came about. Some people were asking, why is Sheikh Amin only doing 5 nights? No, it's not that I'm not being allowed to do 5 nights. No. On the contrary, as a matter of fact, this is something that has been planned like this. And I'm very excited to have these other respected colleagues of ours to also, inshallah, help the community and benefit the community. Inshallah, you can benefit from them as well. I think it's going to be nice. I'm very excited. Now for them, there's 2 or 3 other Maulanas that are also involved in that whole schedule that they have. Because for the second half, even they're going to be doing the same thing. For us, we have already had a commitment with Maulana Beg, and that's also something that inshallah the mu'mineen will benefit from. In the end, brothers and sisters, as I end and wrap up, these programs, they are a reminder for us, brothers and sisters. We can't get too caught up in certain details. We will try our best to get the most out of these programs and these reminders. In the end, it is Quran, it is Hadith, It is logic that is discussed in these lectures. And so we will try our best to benefit as much as we can, inshallah. And the rest, we will try to benefit with the opportunity we have to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this holy month. Keep us all in your du'as, brothers and sisters. And inshallah, starting tomorrow, we will begin Khutbatul Muttaqeen of Nahjul Balagha. Those of you who want to look at it, it is in most Nahjul Balaghas, it is khutbah number 193 of Nahjul Balagha. We will be covering that, inshallah, the next 5 nights. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah. Viewers, just a reminder, tomorrow we will inshallah start the live program at 7 with the recitation of Holy Quran, and at 7:30 Sheikh Amin will be addressing the MOMIN. So please tune into our YouTube channel tomorrow as well, and keep an eye on the on your email and WhatsApp program updates. Assalamu alaikum.